Hello, David Barron here. I hope you'll bear with me during this video because I'm not sure how long it's going to be. I started to write an article that I'll post up on my website, but it inspired me to make a video, and it's a little complex, so be aware there are tangents ahead. All right, well, I was watching a YouTube channel by a YouTuber who was named Alex. I will post that in the link below. And he was attempting to make kimchi without a recipe. What he did is he got some kimchi in the store, read the ingredients, and just started to experiment. And he came to make a very satisfying, tasty, quality kimchi. He said that there is a difference between understanding the steps, the formula behind making something, and understanding the principles behind it. Now, this stuck in my mind because it has a direct relationship about how we learn hypnosis, so allow me to explain. The typical way we learn how to do hypnosis is through having steps. You know, you start with a pre-talk, then you do an induction, then you do tests, and all sorts of things like that. There are steps along the way. And I'm not going to criticize it. It is a very effective way of learning hypnosis. In fact, the Jeffrey Stevens hypnosis method, which I sell on the website, is awesome. It has 10 very clear steps that get a very strong, very positive result. And someone once asked me, what would happen if you mixed up the steps? Would you get the same result? And what I realized is the reasons they're there are because they get a result. You can mix them up, but they're there so that you can learn the process. So you learn the process in that order, and then over time, you understand the principles of it. That got me thinking about what are some of the basic principles of hypnosis. So here's what I came up with. I'd love to have your feedback on this. The first is rapport is good, authority is great, having both is ideal. In all hypnosis and NLP trainings, they talk about the importance of rapport. And rapport is good. It makes you feel as though, you know, when someone's in rapport with you, they feel as though you're like them. They're similar. But authority gets a lot more done. Because you have authority, you can give someone an instruction, and because they trust you, that you have their best interest in mind, they're going to follow it. Now imagine both of those together. So, in fact, there are some theories of hypnosis that hypnosis works only because someone says it's going to work and they have the authority that you believe them and you just make it happen. So again, rapport plus authority are ideal. But if you can only choose one, choose authority. Another principle is hypnosis is about capturing and leading the attention. That's very simple, and it does make sense. I explain to people that the only thing that I do is tell you what to focus on. When you understand that, and when you can observe someone following your instructions and observe them moving their attention from one place to another, you can do so much very quickly. So capturing and leading the attention. Another principle is about context. Context is incredible. It's wonderfully important. Context means that there's a situation where people you plan to hypnotize understand what you're doing. They understand you're a hypnotist. Now, context can be as simple as saying, I'm a hypnotist. Or you can walk around with the t-shirt that I have and it says hypnotist and tell people, would you like to be hypnotized? You've set up the context, but just assume for a moment that no one understands what a hypnosis is. That you say hypnotist and it's just a complete nonsense word. First of all, there's no context for them to understand it, and it's just as likely you're going to look like a fool. You're going to have to do a lot of explaining before you can actually get hypnosis done. Now, understanding those two things, it occurred to me that the whole idea of in the Haiti culture, there are zombies, Haitian zombies. Zombies are part of that very isolated culture. And a zombie came about from a medicine man who everyone in the culture feared terribly, but also respected. A medicine man would give someone a poison, tetrodotoxin usually is what it would be. It would stop their heart, make them appear dead, and he would take their body. They would wake up, and he would tell them, "You're now a zombie." The context and capturing the attention and also having that authority, those combinations led those people who were taken and turned into, quote, zombies, to realize that they had to be zombies. Their whole culture incorporated it. And so this idea of a zombie that's made by Haitian voodoo, it's largely been described as a cultural phenomenon. It has to do with authority. It has to do with capturing the attention. It has to do with the context. The other thing is about intent. And in the training that Jeffrey Stevens has, he talks about the power of intent. And that means, first of all, to assume what you're doing is going to work. That it is the most natural thing that, of course, someone is going to be hypnotized. This is something you convey with your sense of confidence. This is something you convey with your presentation. One of my earlier experiences was when I was in college. I had seen a couple of hypnosis shows. I'd never done it, but I was at a party and I thought, I could tell people I'm a hypnotist. And if I'm confident enough, they're going to do what I say. And much to my surprise, that's what happened. I know in fact a few hypnotists who just learned hypnosis by watching street hypnosis on YouTube and then deciding to go out and do exactly what they saw. They didn't understand why it worked or how it worked, but they went out and they did it. In fact, I encourage some people to, if you want to try this, it's an interesting experience. Put on the t-shirt that says you're a hypnotist, or just introduce yourself as, "I'm a hypnotist." Then look them strangely and intently in the eye, and then go, "Sleep." And you'll be surprised. Many people will sort of like glaze over and just drop down like they've seen on television. It won't happen to everyone, but you'll be amazed when it does. The last thing is a process that I learned about. It has to do a lot with neurolinguistic programming. It has to do a lot with a process called symbology, which I use and is also offered here as a product. But the symbology process uses what is called a meta pattern. A meta pattern is a process that underlies all neurolinguistic programming and many hypnosis processes. It essentially is finding, obviously people come with a problem. You isolate the problem, but then you also determine what the solution would be. You focus on the solution. It is the state, it's a feeling. You help them build it up powerfully. And then you have them imagine and feel this solution state, this emotion, as they go through their day. And feel it particularly at those moments when they used to, in the past, they used to have had that problem. That is the very brief explanation of the meta pattern. But when you understand it, you see it as a principle that underlies a lot of hypnosis. Someone, for example, comes to you wanting to quit smoking, and what they want to feel is free. They want to feel a sense of confidence, but smoking gets in the way. Well, you build up that feeling they call free, that feeling they call confidence. You build it up, you place it every time that in their experience where they used to have thought of a cigarette, and sometimes that's all you need. It's really amazing. The conclusion of this is there are a lot of underlying principles in hypnosis. These are the ones that simply are the most obvious to me at this point. And by understanding the principles, you'll be able to achieve hypnosis without having to follow a formula. I go back to what that friend of mine asked me about, can you mix up the processes from the Jeffrey Stevens hypnosis? And I said, yes, you can, and you can get a very good result. But understand the principles behind it, and also understand that the process, the formula that's laid out for you, is there so that you can learn it. What I encourage people, if you are learning hypnosis, get the formula. Get the formula, do it again and again and again and again until it becomes second nature, and you can start to observe the principles that are underlying the formula. And then you can start to experiment. You can start to make your hypnosis process entirely your own. So I hope this has been of help. I hope this has been entertaining. You'll find below a link encouraging you to subscribe to my newsletter, which will announce the blog posts and sales and things like that and products. Also, subscribe to the Facebook group, the Advanced Hypnosis Skills Facebook group. The link is below. If you have questions, if you have comments, I am making a point, of course, because this is 2020 is the year of content for me. I have a purpose and intent to respond to every one of the comments that are relevant. So I hope this has been of help. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.